Hi guys, this is Connie. Back for more Connie Reads Journey with Grief. We are on chapter 15, titled Avoiding or Coping. Most of us are not fans of pain, but often pain is inescapable, as in the pain of great loss. When I look at photographs from that first year, I can clearly see pain in my wife's eyes, the grief etched in the lines of her face, and I know my face reflected the same message. It is natural to desire to escape pain, to make choices that, while not totally eliminating pain, will numb it, will enable a temporary outlet. A go-to strategy for me was always movies or television, but in my newly acquired awareness after Nathan died, even that wasn't foolproof. I remember being shocked by the number of characters on screen who were routinely run down by a car or truck. While watching a recommended comedy, I was horrified to see a person be obliterated by a bus. As he was innocently standing in the street. I can still see that image now as I type. While grief is not to be avoided, it is helpful to escape from the pain and mourning periodically. But escape can be a two-edged sword, especially since grief is accompanied by a tendency to withdraw and isolate. Also, as with any coping behavior, escape modes fall into healthy and unhealthy. Even a behavior that begins as healthy can, through overuse, become unhealthy. Avoidance may turn into running away from a suppression of the natural manifestation of grief. But grief, when entered into, brings healing and the ability to embrace life's new reality. Our culture offers many acceptable escape methods to avoid the pain and questions brought to the surface by grief. The most common are consuming food, taking drugs, immersing in work, movies, and TV, mindless reading, shopping, spending, alcohol, and even exercise. Take the desire, conscious or unconscious, to get through this discomfort and return to normal, in parentheses, a place that no longer exists, end parentheses. And add it to the fact that your family and friends can become enablers, encouraging behavior that, while not illegal or overtly unhealthy, is derailing your journey, and you might find yourself immobilized in the grip of coping mechanisms that keep you from engaging your grief and moving forward. Food became my place of soothing and relief. Food had been a comfort to me before, but this time it was different. Food was an acceptable and accessible coping mechanism, easily supported by everyone in our community and encouraged by people who cared deeply for me. I gained weight, a lot of weight. My unhealthy dependence on food stayed with me until recently, and while writing this book, I could once again hear the siren call of food beckoning me. When it comes to coping or distracting behavior, it is helpful to have a person who knows you well and who can share their observations with you honestly, graciously speaking to you in love and truth. It's easy to fool yourself, to excuse, justify, or minimize your behavior, and most people will be afraid to offend or upset, especially now. A faithful friend, spiritual director, or a pastor can be extremely helpful, as I do not think we can be trusted to monitor our own coping techniques on our own. Below are some behaviors that can circumvent the healing process. Be aware of the temptations and be intentional about avoiding them as means of escaping grief. Some can be extremely destructive. Some are socially acceptable. Consider why a certain behavior is inviting and practice moderation in the acceptable coping mechanisms. Abstain from the destructive ones. And now we have a list of several bullets. Busyness, no space for genuine grieving. Food, consuming or denying. An invincible front, not allowing others to join in your suffering. The use of scripture to suppress feelings. Use of God and faith as spiritual numbing. Drugs, blaming and shaming yourself. Turning to others to take away your pain. Blaming others. Avoiding, denying your suffering. Alcohol, mindless reading, isolating from God and others. Movies, television, internet, gaming, porn, gambling, and other non-substance addictions. Nursing your anger. All the behaviors above can distance you from God and prevent you from experiencing God's presence in your pain, from claiming the strength that emerges out of your weakness. God told Paul, "My grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness." He's referencing 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9b. When you're in deep emotional pain, it can be tempting to try to numb your feelings with drugs, alcohol, food, or even work. Be careful. These temporary escapes won't lead to faster healing, but may lead to addiction, depression, anxiety, or even an emotional breakdown. Instead, use the suggestions below to help you come to terms with your loss and begin to heal. Another list of bullets. Give yourself time, accept your feelings, and know that grieving is a process. Talk to others, spend time with friends and family. Don't isolate. Take care of yourself, exercise, eat well, and get enough sleep. Do some of the things you have previously enjoyed. Use whatever you are feeling or experiencing to take you to God. Visit a support group. And that's the end of chapter 15. Be careful with that and enjoy, please and thank you, and I will see you for the next upload next time. Have a great day.